welcome to another episode of Sports Talk. This has to be discussed. It has to be discussed. You know what? I'm not going to introduce myself right now because this is just absolute blatant cheating that the New York Yankees are doing. What is up with the Yankees BAT?
To be honest, I didn't know until a friend told us when we were at his house, if you recall, that have you seen the Yankees BAT? I had to quick Google search that.
Yeah.
The bat looks weird, but they hit, I believe, in the first 4 games, the most home runs in MLB history. I believe it was 18 home runs. I think that's the record to set in the first 4 games. So the bat clearly, I don't know if it's cheating or they're going by the rules. Like, I don't know if they're going to continue to be allowed to use this bat. They've lost games, so like it's not like the bat is everything, but
yeah, they lost games because obviously batting is not the only aspect of the game.
Don't cut me off.
Hold on. Just because you lose a game or win a game is whatever. The fact is they hit 18 home runs in 4 games. That's insane. And they're the only team that has that bat. It's clearly cheating. Even if it's allowed, it's cheating. Because why is that the only team that has it?
Maybe whoever created the bat for them, they have the best team sport management, team doctors, whoever creates the bat. Who creates the bat?
I'm assuming the engineers.
The physicists, whoever's designing and creating this bat.
Mechanical engineers, maybe?
Did an outstanding job. And if it's going by the rules, it's not cheating. If they're allowed to use it, that means they're abiding the rules. They're abiding the dimensions that it needs to be. They're abiding everything. So it needs to. You might as well allow it. If they're following the rules, it's fair play.
Yeah, I get it, but it's still cheating. Because
it's fair play.
It's cheating because not everyone has the bat, and the bat clearly makes a difference. You can't just have one team have an equipment that is significantly better than every other team.
Other teams need to get on board and hire people that can create a similar bat.
No, or no one should be allowed to use it until the bat gets cleared. Not just cleared for the team to use it, but cleared for everyone to use it and available for all teams to use it. When one equipment is designed, it's not just one team gets it. Everyone gets it.
For example, say someone, since we're Toronto fans, Toronto Maple Leafs, design a hockey stick and cover it with CCM or Bauer, right? But they design a hockey stick that makes them shoot harder, lighter, quicker, better puck handling, but they only keep it for themselves.
Yeah, that's
cheating. Is that cheating or not?
Yeah, that's cheating.
If they're going by the rules, if they're following the rules, the dimensions, not using anything illegal, if they follow all the rules, it's not cheating.
Yeah, but it's like cheating. It's like, okay, you can follow all the rules, but it's still cheating. It's like performance enhancing drugs.
It's not because
hold on.
Let me tell you. For example, now we're gonna switch it to ball. Like some basketball players have more money than the others, so their treatment, conditioning, off-season work is better than the other players because they got more money. So if you have more money as a franchise and you can invest into stuff like this, then you're far ahead from the smaller market teams.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's unfair. For the basketball players that you brought up, first of all, for that statement, is you worked hard to make that money.
You worked hard to make this bat.
No. You worked hard to make that money. Hold on, let me finish my point. You worked hard to make that money. You deserve that money because you are better. At one point, you weren't the best player and you didn't make that money, but yet you got there. You got there without all the better training, better recovery, better everything that money can buy you. You got there.
Yeah.
Okay. But, now that you have it, you deserve it. Your team, scientists or engineers or whatever came up with this design and made the bat. Okay, sure. They deserve the credit. But this is an equipment that only your team can use that's clearly more beneficial than the other equipment and better. That's not fair.
First, I'm gonna switch it to outside of sports to give you an example. It's a genius example, okay. But you're gonna hate on it like you always do.
Yeah.
We're talking about going to space.
Okay.
Now, for all the flat earthers out there, we're talking about real life going to space, because the Earth is not flat. Let's get that out the way, Bryce Mitchell. But first of all,
you're telling me you can get by the firmament?
Not according to Bryce Mitchell. I don't know what the firmament is. But Our audience probably doesn't know who Bryce Mitchell is, but anyways, the UFC fighter. To give you an example, NASA, SpaceX, and those few countries that partner with them are the only few countries to go to space. Not every country can go to space.
Okay.
They can go to the International Space Station. So bigger market teams, for example, and more like wealthy countries can reach new heights, new levels. Yankees, probably the biggest market in baseball, have the money, have the investment, have the sense, have the technology to invest into stuff like this and put money towards technology to help better their players. Other smaller markets won't have the capacity or money to be able to do that.
First of all, that was a terrible example.
A good example.
That was a terrible
How?
example because that doesn't relate to this.
It
Let
does
me
relate
explain
to
to you.
this.
Hold on.
The smaller nations,
Let me explain to you how.
Poor nations can't go to space.
Yeah.
They don't have the rocket ship, the money to fund it.
I got you. But they're not having a benefit from that.
Of course,
directly.
benefit.
Where?
That's why the United States is the most powerful country in the world.
That's what I'm saying. You're. Although you have a part right example, a more right example would have been to say that a more powerful country that has more money, more natural resources, and whatever that have better GDP fund their armies and have more power based on that would make more sense because they can outpower other.
But then how would we talk about the firmament and flat Earth then? I couldn't bring that up if I talk about the army.
Anyway, let's just get back to sports. Okay, that was a terrible example. Let's just get back to sports. Okay, I understand what you're trying to say, but it's cheating because it's just unfair. That doesn't make any sense.
That's how sports work. If you're
the
bigger market, look, Los Angeles. Everyone wants to go play in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Just because it's a bigger market and the city.
Yeah.
The smaller markets like Cleveland and Oklahoma, usually players never want to go there. So it's harder for those teams to win unless you draft players. That's like that in every sport. The only few sports that hockey is a little different because Toronto Maple Leafs fans and media are so negative towards the players when they don't win that it's such a big market, and that even though Canadian players want to play here, sometimes they opt out not to play because they don't want to deal with all the backlash. But my point is, bigger markets, bigger teams, everyone's going to want to play for Yankees. Who's going to want to play for Yankees or the Jays? Yeah. Think about it. People are going to choose Yankees, Dodgers, those type of teams.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with that. That's a good point. That's a valid point.
And they're bigger markets, they're more wealthy, they can invest into stuff. I know it's unfair for the smaller market teams in that sense, but that's how life works sometimes. If you have the money, you can invest into these type of things, and let's see how far the Yankees go. Not unless they're cheating and putting stuff in the bat that's not supposed to be, or having a thicker bat than the dimensions are not right, then it's cheating.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. I can agree with that point, but I still feels a bit sneaky to me, and it could just be on bias because we're Jays fans and I really don't like the Yankees. You know, it could just simply be that. Because I'm pretty sure if it was the other way around and the Blue Jays were doing this, I probably wouldn't have a problem with it. Like you said, if the Maple Leafs came out with this stick and they were winning, no problem as long as the Leafs are winning. But yeah, let us, you know what? I don't know if it's cheating or not. I think it is. He thinks it's not. Let us know what you guys think. Is the New York Yankees bat unfair? And clearly an unfair advantage they have, but is it unfair for them to only have that bat? Or should everyone else get that bat? Let us know what you guys think. Thank you for listening.